Divorce is so often framed as an ending, but today we're going to look at it in a completely different light, as one of life's biggest transitions. It's a journey, for sure, and one that really requires clarity, compassion, and a solid roadmap.
You know, this quote really gets to the heart of it. The key word here is reshaping, not just ending or dismantling. It really acknowledges just how deep this change goes.
And that's the question, isn't it? It can feel completely overwhelming, kind of like standing at a huge crossroads with no signs. So, in this explainer, we're going to give you that roadmap, and we'll start with the very first step, understanding the emotional landscape.
Yeah, it's so important to start right here. I mean, before any legal papers get filed, before any big financial decisions are made, you have to navigate this cascade of emotions. Just acknowledging them is the first real step toward managing them.
Right, and it's so important to know that these phases are rarely a straight line. It's really more like a tangled web than some neat checklist. You might feel acceptance one day and then, boom, anger the next. Our source material is super clear on this. Having good days and having setbacks is completely normal. It's all just part of the process.
And the crucial takeaway here is you just can't go through this alone. Building a small, trusted circle, whether that's a therapist, a support group, or just a few really close friends, it keeps you grounded. And at the same time, simple routines like trying to get consistent sleep and exercise, they become these really powerful anchors in what can feel like a very turbulent time.
Okay, so now let's pivot a little to the practical side of things. Once you have some emotional footing, you really need to understand the different legal routes you can take. And this isn't a one-size-fits-all situation. The path you choose has a huge impact on everything: the cost, the stress, and of course, the final outcome.
So let's break these down. Uncontested is the simplest path forward. It's ideal if you and your spouse are pretty much on the same page about the big things. Then there's mediation. This brings in a neutral third party, a guide, to help you find that common ground, and it's all done privately. Collaborative divorce is a step up from that. You each get your own lawyer, but everyone works as a team to find a solution, and you agree from the very beginning that you will not go to court. Exactly. It's for those more complex cases that need the legal guidance, but without the threat of a courtroom battle. And then finally, you have litigation. This is where a judge makes the final decisions, and it's usually the last resort for really high conflict situations.
And you know, regardless of which legal path you end up choosing, the very first step on the financial side is always the same: creating a complete inventory. You have to get a list of absolutely everything, all your income, all your debts, every single asset. And why does this matter so much? Well, because you can't divide what you can't see. And having this clarity up front prevents just countless problems down the road.
Okay, now we're moving to what is often the most critical part of this entire process: the children. The source material is absolutely adamant on this point. Their well-being is paramount, and the single best thing parents can do for them is to minimize conflict.
Let's really break this down. The main goal here is to create as much stability as you possibly can. That means keeping routines predictable, working together on big decisions about school or health, and using neutral channels like a co-parenting app to handle the logistics. And the don'ts on this list, they all boil down to one core idea: protect your kids from the conflict. Never ever put them in the middle by using them as messengers or criticizing the other parent in front of them. Their home needs to be their safe zone, not a battleground.
Exactly. And this is the tool that really makes all of that work: a formal, child-centered parenting plan. It isn't about winning or losing. It's a blueprint for consistency. It outlines schedules, holidays, how you'll make big decisions. Basically, it's a document that you create in a calm moment to prevent conflict in a heated one.
So how does all this build toward the future? Well, because divorce isn't just about ending something, it's also about beginning something new. And this next phase is all about intentionally rebuilding and finding that opportunity for growth.
It makes sense, right? So much of our identity can get wrapped up in a marriage. A huge part of healing is rediscovering who you are as an individual. This is your chance to pick up an old hobby, try something you've always wanted to do, and redefine your purpose on your own terms.
And you definitely don't have to do that alone. Rebuilding your social circle is absolutely crucial. And this isn't just about having people to talk to, it's about creating a new sense of belonging. Joining a class or volunteering somewhere doesn't just introduce you to new people, it can also give you a really powerful, renewed sense of purpose.
Because ultimately, that's what this is: a new chapter. It's not the end of the book, it's just the start of a new, unwritten one.
We've covered a lot.
the emotional, the legal, the personal side of things. So now let's bring it all together with a really concrete, actionable checklist. Think of these as the immediate steps you can take to feel a sense of control and start this whole process on solid ground.
Let's walk through these. First, document your essentials. Gather all your key financial and property records so you're totally prepared. Second, build your team. A lawyer gives you guidance, a therapist gives you support. You don't have to be an expert in everything. Third, protect your finances. Opening your own bank accounts, updating passwords, it creates a clear financial separation. Fourth, plan the home. Figuring out housing logistics early on reduces a major source of stress. Fifth, prioritize your health. Seriously, your well-being is the foundation for everything else. And finally, number 6, communicate intentionally. Using written channels for the important stuff keeps a record and helps take some of the emotion out of the logistics.
You know, this brings us to a final, really powerful idea from our source material. The end of a marriage isn't the end of possibility. This whole process is a profound reshaping. Family continues, just in a new form, and the potential for growth and, yes, future happiness is just immense.
And that really brings us to our final thought. This is an opportunity to be deliberate, to be compassionate with yourself, and to build a future that is truly authentic and fulfilling. The power is now with you. So the real question isn't just about what happened, but how will you write your next chapter?